Fuck me, you're about to get taught progressive overload by Jesus. Oh my God, look at the way I'm looking today, straight out of the shower. But listen, this is the best video on progressive overload that exists on YouTube. All your questions and worries about it will be solved in this video because we all know how important progressive overload is, but it can get a bit confusing. Have you ever wondered, should I increase the weight? Or should I increase the reps? Or should I do both? When should I increase the weight? When should I increase it? Actually, matter of fact, should I do more sets? Like, you get told you can progressive overload in so many ways, but you don't get told how to do it. Like, people tell you can do progressive overload by reducing your rest times, but they don't tell you how long. So I'm going to put all those questions to bed. I'm going to make sure that this is the full comprehensive video on how to progress your sets, your reps, your weight, everything in 1 minute. No, not 1 minute. In one video that lasts about 15 minutes. Now, listen, you need to watch this video to the very end. Not because I want to get my view time up, not because I'm doing a little shameless plug, but because if you click off this video midway thinking you understand everything, then go gym and realize it's not working, you're going to think, hold on, this motherfucker doesn't work. And this motherfucker lied to me. But I didn't. You just didn't watch it to the very end. So you need to watch all of it to understand all the nitty gritty. The reason I'm talking so fast is because I just want to cut to it, but you just kind of need to know these disclaimers. Now, the last disclaimer you need to know, which isn't really a disclaimer, but more of a, if you're still struggling after this video, I offer my free coaching that comes with my free training program. All you have to do is click the first pinned comment to hop on a coaching call with me in which I'm going to teach you everything there is about building your dream body, about gym, and everything in between in a 20 to 30 minute call for completely free. So if your questions still aren't answered after this video, or you just want to chat to me because you love me so much and I'm so perfect, then click the first link in the pinned comments. With that said, enjoy this video. I know the whiteboard cuts out the screen a couple of times, but this is my first time, trying to do a little dual camera setup, so just forgive me. But you'll still understand everything. Bro, I fucking love you. Let me teach you how to progressive overload so you can get fucking jacked out your mind.
Alright, let's begin. Alright, whiteboard, pen, shit. I've got my toes out now, that's crazy. I gotta cover that, man. Let me put some socks on. Alright, progressive overload tutorial. I wanna explain absolutely everything you're seeing on the whiteboard. First things first, don't be overwhelmed by all of this. I know there's a lot of writing everywhere. Just follow along with where I go, okay? So if we're talking about this, just look here, okay? Don't be reading anything else, you'll get confused and you won't like this video. You need to understand everything here and I want to explain it in the simplest way flipping possible. The progression model for progressive overload that works really well for intermediates, beginners and advanced lifters is dynamic double progression. This is when you increase reps until you hit the top of a rep range, then you increase weight. Here's an example, okay? Okay, what's the first thing we need then? First thing we need for this to work is a rep range. In my example here, let me make sure you motherfuckers can see that. Yeah, my example here, we're doing the dumbbell bench press in the 5 to 10 rep range. What the hell does a rep range mean? Rep range means the amount of reps you do must be at the minimum 5 and at the maximum 10. You can't, if you exceed 10, then the weight you chose was too light and as a result, you're able to do more reps. If you undershoot and the weight you choose is too heavy and you manage to get like 3 reps, for example, then the weight you've chosen is too heavy and you're outside the rep range. So the weight you choose must fall within 5 and 10. Okay, now that we know 5 to 10, here's what progress would and should look like in an ideal world. We're doing the dumbbell bench press. We come in on week 1 and we use the 40 kilo dumbbells and we get it for 8. Okay, nice. It's within our rep range, everything's good. When we come in for week 2, we're gonna use the 40s again and we're gonna hit it for 9. Now, why are we using the 40s? We're using the 40s because we haven't hit the top of the rep range yet. The top of the rep range is 10 and we're currently on 9 reps. So we're gonna stay with the same weight. We come in on week 3 and again, we use the 40s. Why? Because we haven't hit the top of the rep range yet. However, as you see here on week 3, we hit 10. That's the top of our rep range. So what do we do now? When we come in on week 4, we increase the weight. We increase the weight to 42.5, which, because this is now heavier and harder, is gonna knock us down to 5 reps. This is beautiful because this is still within our rep range. It's still 5, which is good. Then when we come in on week 5, we're gonna use the 42s again, and we're gonna aim for 6 reps. Okay, we got 6 reps, good. We're gonna come in on week 6 and aim for 7 reps. Okay, we got 7 reps, good. Look at the progress. Week 1, we're doing 40 for 8. Week 6, we're doing 42 for 5. And then which means week 7, we're gonna use 42.5 for 8. So look at that, in 7 weeks, we went from 40s for 8 to 42.8. I mean 42.5 for 8. That's progressive overload. That's exactly what the aim of the game is. This is how we increase weight and how to increase reps. And this progression model that I've just taught you solves the classic beginner problem of not knowing if you should increase the weight or the reps or both. Because now you know. Once you hit the top of the rep range, then you increase weight. But until you're at the top of the rep range, it's reps that you're increasing. Now, there's a lot to mention here, okay? A lot of questions, a lot of little things that we need to dissect. Experimentation. And what I mean by that is, yeah, the goal of the rep range was 5 to 10, but if this is a new exercise that you've never done before, if this is a machine you've never used before, if it's your first day in the gym, how do you know that the weight you're gonna choose is gonna fall between 5 and 10? Well, this is where experimentation and experience comes in. It's very common to go gym and have a 5 to 10 rep range and accidentally use a weight that's too light and that allowed you to get 12 reps. If that happens, that's fine. Don't blame yourself, don't kick yourself, don't shoot yourself, don't be like, oh my fucking God, I messed up. Like, no, bro, that's part of the game, that's part of gym, that's part of messing up and learning. If the same thing happens, but the opposite direction, and you accidentally choose a weight too heavy and you only manage to get 2 reps, well, same story as what I just said. Now you know that that weight is too heavy, and now you know that next week when you come in, if you chose a weight that's accidentally too heavy, lighten the weight so that you fall in this rep range. If you chose a weight that's accidentally too light, increase the weight so that you fall within this rep range. The goal is to get a minimum of 5 reps and a maximum of 10 reps using appropriate weights that allow you to do this. If it's too light, you'll get more. If it's too heavy, you'll get less. So first thing is experimentation, okay? Don't be scared to go in the gym and accidentally fuck up and then learn from it and know better from last time. That is totally fine. That is literally why we exist as humans, to make mistakes, to learn from them, to come back and then be better. Next thing we're gonna mention, this progression that I just showed you is really and truly very unlikely and fairyland. Now the reason I say that, okay, that's not how you spell fairyland. Oh, it is. No, it's not. Bro, I'm retarded, bro. Fuck. What I mean by that is for you to get 40 for 8, and then 40 for 9, then 40 for 10, then 42.5, and 42.5 for 6 is unrealistic. And the reason it's unrealistic and unlikely is because you're human, and gym isn't your whole life. You haven't optimized every single area of your life for this to work. You have a 9-to-5 job, you have maybe kids to look after, you have a social life. It's unlikely that every single day of your life, you're hitting the right amounts of sleep, the right amount of calories, the right amount of protein. It's likely that some things in your life are out of check and some things in your life kind of mess up, and you know, we can't be perfect all the time. So a more realistic progression and what's more likely to happen to you, and the reason I mention this is so you don't get discouraged and don't think this progression model doesn't work when this happens to you, is something like this, right? I'm gonna rewrite this, then we'll come back a second later. Something like this is more realistic. Week 1, you come in, you get 40 for 8, nice. Week 2, you come in, you get 40 for 9, nice. We got +1 progress, +1 rep. Week 3, you come in, and you aim for 40 for 10, but maybe because you're under recovered, you didn't get enough sleep, you've been stressed, not hydrated, whatever other factors of life could influence our performance in the gym, maybe we get 40 for 9 again. So we matched it. So from week 2 to week 3, no progress has been made. And I put it in quotation marks and I'll explain why quotation marks in a sec. But on paper, it doesn't look like any progress has been made. Okay, fine. We come in week 4, we aim for that 10th rep, and we eventually get it. Yay, +1. Oh, shut up, bro, no, shut up. Don't start barking now. Okay, so week 4, we hit 40 for 10, and naturally, if you've learned anything from this video, which I hope you have, you know that we need to increase the weight. So we jump up in dumbbells to 42.5, and of course, we're aiming for a minimum of 5 reps, but again, maybe we're under-recovered, or maybe we just weren't there mentally, or maybe we just adapt slower than the usual person would, and we only hit 42.5 for 4. Okay, that's not ideal. The goal was 5, but we only got it for 4. That's not ideal. But that's not to say that you fucked up. You haven't messed up here. You haven't done anything wrong. That's fine. This is what life looks like. This is the realistic way of progressing. It's not going to be sunshine and rainbows every single time you go to the gym. You're not going to progress every rep of every set of every exercise every single time you step in the gym. No, bro, that's unfucking realistic. Especially not as an intermediate lifter. If you're a beginner, if you're in your first year of lifting, if you're in your first 6 months of lifting, or you're on steroids, then yes, you can expect progress every single time you step to the gym. But for guys that have been training for a bit longer, something like this is more realistic, where we don't progress from this week to this week, but then we miraculously progress the next week, where we aim for 5 reps, but we only got 4. And then I even forgot to mention this, we come in on week 6 and we managed to get +2 reps. Like, what? That's so fucking weird. Like, how was I not able to get 5 here, but then miraculously the next week I'm able to add 2 reps and get 6? Like, I know it doesn't make any sense, but this is exactly what progress is. This is what progressive overload is, and this is how training is for guys that have been training for a substantial amount of time. This is what it's gonna be like. It's not gonna be smooth sailing like the example I gave at the start. That's the goal, that's how we want it to be, but realistically, it's gonna be more like this. It's gonna be a bit messy. It's gonna be times or weeks you don't progress. It's gonna be times where you actually don't hit the rep range. It's gonna be times where you miraculously go up by 2 reps 1 week. And then maybe what's likely to happen is maybe week 7, you're using 42s again. And then you miraculously lose a rep. Maybe you go down to 5. Maybe you're under recovered. Maybe you've regressed. Maybe your training hasn't been ideal. Again, don't get discouraged. This is what life is like. Let me make sure you can see that. This is what life is like as a natural lifter, as guys who don't take steroids, as guys who have been lifting for a while. This is what it's like. But then maybe you come in on week 8, you're using 42.5 again, and you miraculously get 2 reps again, and now you're on 7. Progress has been made. Look, week 1 you used 40 for 8. Week 8, you're using 42.5 for 7, which is only 1 less rep from 8, but 2.5 kilos heavier. So this is what I mean, and this is the stress of this, the main message of this video. Like, I'm teaching you guys how to do this.
Someone just walked to my room, but essentially I'm saying progress isn't going to be smooth. It's going to be up and down, rocky, with some days in which you don't make progress and other days in which you do make progress. So don't expect it to be as smooth and perfect as that first theoretical example I gave. I just gave that example so you guys get an idea of how it should work. But realistically, progress will look more like the second example I've just given, where some days are good and some days are bad, okay? Because at the end of the day, we're all human, we all fuck up, we all make mistakes, and nothing ever goes to plan. Next, I'm going to teach you guys what to do when you have multiple sets.
Because this has been an example of just 1 set of between 5 and 10. What if you do 3 sets of 5 and 10? What would progress look like? Well, let me show you. This is each individual set. So week 1, I forgot to mention, we're doing 3 sets here, right? Week 1, we come in, we get 40 for 10 on set 1, 40 for 8 on set 2, and 30 for 9. Perfect. That's 3 sets in our 5 to 10 rep range. That is perfect. Well, what do we do week 2? Well, we take each set on its own and we apply the methods and teachings of dynamic double progression to each set individually. What does that mean? That means that here, where we hit the top of the rep range, on the first set, right, this is set 1, this is set 2, oopsie, this is set 3. On the first set, we're gonna increase the weight. So here, we're gonna go 42.5, and we might get 6, let's say. What do we do on this set though? Well, this set here, because we haven't hit the top of the rep range on the second set, we're gonna stay with 40 and we're gonna aim to get 9. Now, what I could have done and what I could do right now is fill out these boxes in a very optimistic way, in the ideal way that it should be. But like I just explained in the rant I just went on, it's unlikely training is gonna be that smooth and that realistic and that perfect. In theory, training should go one way, but it's likely to go another way. So instead, here, what's likely to happen is, because we've increased the weight here, because we managed to get 6 reps, and because we're probably more fatigued, we'll probably match 40 for 8 on this second set. Okay, that's fine. And here on the last set, we got 30 for 9. We'll probably be able to squeeze 30 for 10 on this bottom set. Okay, what do we do week 3? Well, week 3, same principles apply. 42.5. Again, we're gonna aim for 7 reps, but maybe this week we just don't get it and we get 6 reps. Okay, that's totally fine. We're gonna come in here, we got 40 for 8 last week, 40 for 8 last week. Maybe this week we slept really well, we got good recovery, we ate enough calories and protein, and we're able to increase it here. So here, we're gonna get 40 for 9. Okay, nice, we got +1 rep here. And here at the bottom, 30 for 10. Well, if we're following the principles, this is the top of the rep range, so let's increase it. 32.5, to which we'll probably get 7. Okay, fine. And then we repeat this same process and principle for the rest of the weeks. Now, the example I just gave was if we were doing 3 sets of 5 to 10. But what we can do is have a different rep range for each set. And this is why this progression model is called dynamic, because the rep ranges change for each set. So of course, 3 sets of 5 to 10 is a good rep range and it works. But what I like to do, just for some variation and some more fun in my training, I like to do something like this. I like to do 3 sets again, but the first set is 5 to 10. Second set would be in the 8 to 12 rep range, and the third set would be in like the 10 to 15 rep range. And again, I'm gonna treat each set on its own. The progress will happen on an intra-set basis. So when I hit 10 reps on the top set, then I'll increase weight. When I hit 12 reps on the second set, then I'll increase weight. When I hit 15 reps on the third set, then I'll increase weight. And as we can see, there's some overlap. So here, I could get 40 for 10. And then what I can use for my second set is I can use the 40s again. I can get 40 for 8 again. As you can see, I've used the same weight in both sets, but because 10 within the rep range and 8 is within the rep range, that's totally fine. Now, what should I do for the third set? Can I use 40s again? Hell no, because I need to get a minimum of 10 reps. So I'm gonna need to drop the weight. So I'm gonna probably go down to 30. My iron's fucking trash, but yeah, 30, to which I'll get for 12 reps. And as we can see, everything is good. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All sets taken close to failure. All sets are hard and stimulative of strength and muscle growth. And they're all within the rep range. Now, I would just progress these sets individually. So next time I come to the gym, I see that 40 for 10, I'm at the top of the rep range. So I'll increase load. This is meant to be a plus sign. Here, I'll see that 40 for 8 is at the bottom of the rep range. So for this set, I'll increase reps. Here, I see that 30 for 12 is, nicely in the middle, but still not at the top, which means let me get that bitch to the top, which means let me increase reps on this set. So you see how each set is getting treated, is getting its own treatment. Each set is getting its own, treatment essentially. You're not increasing load for all sets or reps for all sets, you're doing it individually. This then answers the classic beginner question of what should you increase, load or reps? Well, now, if you've been watching this video and learning, here's your answer. Yeah, when you're at the top of the rep range, then it's load, it's weight. When you're still within the rep range, then it's reps. Simple as that. Now, one final point in this video is, why is it called double progression? Because we're increasing 2 variables at a time. And I've written the variables here. Oh shit, can you see that? Yep, I've written the variables here. Those variables being the reps and the weight. Now, there are a lot of other variables we can increase. We can increase the number of sets we do. We can alter the rest times, making it shorter. We can increase the tempo of the exercise, making it a longer eccentric. The reason we choose reps and weight is because those two are easy to quantify. They are literal objective numbers. You either get the rep or you didn't. You either increase the weight or you don't. And you know exactly what weight you're doing, you know exactly how many reps you got. They're easy to see, objectify, and quantify. Unlike something like rest, in which it's hard to time, because yeah, you can time the rest, but then once the stopwatch goes, by the time you get in position to do your exercise, maybe you've rested a little bit longer and it kind of throws off the rest timing that you aim for. Or maybe with tempo, when you're grinding hard, when you're pushing a set really close to failure and it's really tough, how the fuck are you gonna count your tempo? How are you gonna know that, oh yeah, last week I done 2 seconds on the eccentric, this week let me make sure I get 3 seconds exactly. It's really hard to pinpoint these things accurately. Whereas with reps and weight, it's way simpler. It's fucking easy. You either got the reps or you didn't. You either used that weight or you didn't. So we use reps and weight, and because we're using reps and weight, two of them, that's why it's called double progression, because we're progressing 2 things at once, reps and weight.
That's the end of the video. If I'm on your screen right now, then I've kept your interest somehow, bro. Don't forget the free coaching call. All you have to do is click the pinned comment down below. We'll hop on a call and I'll solve all of your muscle building problems in 20 minutes or less. Love you, bro. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to sign up, get the free program as well, and I'll catch you in the next one.